list. I can now check showering on global television off my list. Hey guys, it's Molly here again for another video, and today I am wearing this off-the-shoulder, super cozy, luxurious, it's from H&M, so it's like not really that luxurious, really like fluffy, cozy sweater. And the reason I am wearing this sweater is because I am talking today about what it was like filming a shower scene that would air on international television. And you might be like, I still don't see the connection there. Well, if you haven't seen my commercial, it's fluffy, weightless, and it feels really moisturizing, not sticky. You can see like the white foam that I was talking about showering with, promoting, I don't know. And this reminds me of that white foam because it's like a white foamy sweater. So that's why I chose to wear this, because it gives me Dove shower foam vibes. And that's what we're talking about. So many of you know, because many of you have reached out telling me you've seen the commercial, whether it be here on YouTube. Sometimes it pops up for me when like I'm watching other people's videos and like my commercial pops up and all of a sudden I hear, I lost my vision when I was 4. And I'm like, I know that voice. And it's even, some of you have said it's popped up before my videos, which I think is hilarious. I don't watch my own videos, so I've never personally had that happen, but you better not skip that ad, girl. And so I thought I would talk about it because a lot of you have questions, and even in my, real life, when people find out about the commercial, they're always like, what was it like filming a shower scene? How do you film a shower scene? Because yes, that was really me in the shower. This was not like a stand-in shower model. This was really me in the shower. You guys saw me really showering. So it's pretty weird knowing like a lot of the world has seen you showering, whether it be like as a cardboard cutout in a grocery store or like actually like on the commercial on television. But that's what happened. That's what I signed up for, I guess. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about too much. Like, I haven't really actually ever talked about the actual commercial, whether it be the audition process, filming, any of that stuff. So if you want me to do a Q&A on my commercial, it started airing last January, so just over a year ago, and they just renewed it for a couple of countries to continue to air, which is great. It's doing really well, which is awesome, and it makes me so happy when you guys have seen it, or like you'll tweet me photos of you standing with my cardboard cutout at your grocery store or something, or you'll send me photos of you with like a bottle of the shower foam or something. It's like so sweet. I love it. Yeah, if you guys want me to do more videos about the commercial, whatever other questions you might have, let me know. Comment down below and let me know what you'd want to see about it. But today I just thought I'd answer the most common question that I get online and in person, which is, how do you film a shower scene? How did that whole situation go down? So we filmed for 3 days, and the first day was when we filmed the shower scene. So I did an interview in the morning, and which is most of the sit down portion where you're seeing me sit on a couch with the green shirt. And then we filmed the shower scene that afternoon. So that afternoon was my moment. I was like kind of nervous. I'm a pretty open person. I'm very comfortable with other people. I'm very comfortable with myself. I'm just like a pretty open book. A lot of you probably know that from watching my videos, but I was like still a little bit nervous only because I had zero concept of how this happens. Like, all I could think of is seeing other girls like doing the hair commercials, like rinsing shampoo out of their hair, or like those commercials I remember seeing a lot as a child. Like, I think it was like the Venus Gillette razor. Is that a thing? I don't know if I'm making that up. Where you'd see like the girls in bikinis and their legs were up and like all glowing and tanned, and they're like shaving their legs in the water. That was like all the stuff that was coming to my mind when I'm thinking of having to film a shower scene. And I just had no concept of how they actually do it. They were open to the idea of me having somebody else stand in if I like really wanted to, but I was like, I'm honestly fine. It's cool. It's no big deal. And so they gave me a little outfit to wear, so I wasn't totally in the nude. I have the bottoms here. I don't have the top with me in LA. These were the bottoms, so this is what I wore on the bottom half, these little booty shorts. They're like a really stretchy nude spandex. Honestly, like a lot of people when they see these, and the top was like just a little thin tube, which was the exact same material, this like nude stretchy spandex. A lot of people are like, oh, it's like a bathing suit. No, girl. A bathing suit holds its shape. This holds the shape of your body. Like, this molds to every imperfection, every curve, every lump and bump your body has. This clings and gets into every crevice. It's revealing. These are much more revealing, especially once it gets soaking wet, it like clings to you even more. So it's not like a bathing suit. It's like, sure, it's covering me as much, but if you looked at me from far away, I still looked naked. And so I changed into this in the wardrobe trailer, and then I put on a nice fluffy robe. And they made me feel really comfortable. They told me Dove is honestly like the best company in the world to work for. They don't pay me to say that. They were truly incredible. And I had nothing but positive experiences, which is pretty amazing because I told my parents when I was like 16 years old that my dream was to be in a Dove commercial of all things, like specifically a Dove commercial. And then at 21, I'm filming a Dove commercial. Maybe I was 22. I was 22. At 22, I was filming a Dove commercial. So, you know, put those positive intentions out there in the world. Put out what you want, because it'll come back in the form of a shower foam commercial. I promise. They had like a really heavy female staff. So our director was female, our assistant director was female, our head videographer was female. Like there was a lot of females, but there was also still, of course, like a lot of males. But in the film industry, which is so heavily male dominated, especially in terms of like directors and videographers, to have like such a strong female presence was pretty great, and just shows me like they really stand by their message of empowering women. So that was awesome. And so they basically said, you know, we can only have female staff in filming with you for the shower scene if that would make you more comfortable, but if not, we'll have some male staff in there too. And I was like, honestly, we're all professionals here. I'm sure a lot of them have done this before. It's not a big deal. Male staff are fine. And so there was about, I want to say 10 people in the bathroom. They specifically rented the house that we filmed in, or this portion of the commercial in, because it had such a large white open bathroom that would accommodate a lot of film crew and cameras, and it had a glass shower, which made it easier to film and reflected like all of the light that we needed. There was about 10 people in the room. I'd say it was 50-50 male, female. And then downstairs, they had a screen set up where like, I want to say like 50 people were watching downstairs. All the other like crew that was on the commercial could watch what was happening. And then if they had any comments, they could send it to the earpiece the director was wearing and say like, hey, have her do this, change this position or this lighting or whatever. So everybody could like play their role and give feedback. The shower scene, I want to say I filmed for max, I was max in there for an hour, but probably less. And it definitely got very steamy in that bathroom for everybody else except me. I was just fine because I was freezing cold, because we would turn the water on and off. Like I would step in, I would get wet, and then they would turn it off to film some of the parts. So I would get really, really cold. So everybody else was like really steamy and hot in there, and I was just like shivering, freezing cold, which was why it was so nice. As soon as I stepped out of the shower, they like bundled me in my robe. But they were so sweet. They were like, you know, you turn on the water as hot as you want, get in and get out whenever you like. If you need a break, you let us know. If you need to stand in the hot water for a bit, you let us know. They were so respectful. When I was actually in the shower, for the most part, I had my back to the entire crew. I was facing the wall where the shower head was. The entire crew was in the rest of the bathroom to my side or behind me. So they were looking either at my back or the side of me. So that's what they saw. And then the door to the shower was like on my right side. And then I had a glass wall of shower behind me, and then the bathtub was like behind that. So the whole crew was standing around this area. And where the door was, they kept obviously the door open, because that's mainly where they filmed through, was the shower door. And sitting in the bottom of the shower. Oh, and they even had like a little walker. So if I was going to lose my balance or if it was going to get slippery, I could like hold the walker to balance myself or stay steady, which was really sweet of them to think about, because a lot of people know like I don't have good balance, which most blind people don't. So I usually take baths. Like showers are a little more tricky for me just because of balance. So it was nice of them to think of that. And then we had my foamer. So she sat like on the ground at the opening of the shower, and she was like crouched down so that the camera crew still had room. She would basically had a giant bucket of Dove shower foam, and she would foam me. She would place the foam where they wanted it. So they would tell her like put more on her right shoulder, put more down her forearm or wherever they wanted it. And she would like spread it on me. And then they'd be like, okay, action. And then they'd get me to like rub the shower foam in, and they would tell me like slower, higher, go like more to your back. So the main parts that we filmed and that like I was washing was my right arm all down my hand, up the arm, and like the back of my shoulder and neck, and the top of my shoulder. That was like the main area they were filming. By the end of that shower, it was squeaky clean on this one portion of my body. And then they would do my hands. So they would do some shots of like my hands going like this and like holding the foam or pumping, that kind of thing. After they felt like they had filmed enough footage of that, they would then do photos, which was like how the whole commercial went, because it was both a print campaign and a commercial campaign, like an ad campaign on TV. They would always film the video first and then have the photographer step in and he would do the photos. So he then came and I faced out of the shower. So I was now like, instead of facing the wall, I was now facing the door, and he was standing in the door. And this was like my favorite part, because he was just like, do what you want. And I was like, yay, because now I wasn't being directed of like, oh, we want your hand here or there. He was just like, do whatever you want. And so my first instinct was to blow the foam. So I just like held a hand. The foamer handed me a handful of foam. So I was holding the foam and I just wanted to like blow it into his camera, which I'll insert that photo because they've used that photo a lot in the advertising and I've posted it on my social media. And the other photo they used a lot in the advertising was when I hid behind the foam. I'll insert that one here. That was also my idea. Like all of the photos that they did in the shower scene were all my ideas. Like I was like, I want to hide behind it. I want to blow it. I want to like peek over the top of it. I want to like hold it over my head. I just like had so much fun like with this foam, or like balling it into like a snow, like holding it like it was a snowball, or just like different things like that. I had so much fun doing that portion of it. That was that. Like everybody was super respectful. Everybody was really kind. Nobody made me feel uncomfortable. It was honestly like over before I knew it. And I think it was a really cool experience, because for somebody who grew up dreaming of being an actress, it's the most, even though I've worked a lot in television, it's the most like Hollywood experience I've had in terms of actually like doing something like a scene where I'm not just like being myself in a documentary or something like that. This is like me doing a scene and having to like follow a director's, requests and that kind of thing. It was the most, like, it's the largest crew that I've ever worked with, and just in general the most professional shoot that I've ever been on in all of my years of doing different television work. So it was a really cool experience for me that way, as well as just like living out my 16-year-old dream of being in a Dove commercial, and in getting to see that the brand really stands by their values in so many ways, not just the ways that I've mentioned, but in many other ways. On the 3-day shoot, they showed me that they really live what they say, and they really mean it. And I think that was like really inspiring for me to see. So I have nothing but high praise for the product and for the whole experience. None of it was scripted. They didn't tell me what to say at any point. They didn't even prompt me in what to say. Every question during the interview was fully open-ended. It was, my real and genuine thoughts about the product and a real and genuine experience that I had with them. So super high praise, and honestly, go check out the product. The shower foam is so glorious. It's like luxurious. My favorite scent is the green tea and cucumber. That was the scent they were allowed me to request which scent I wanted to shower with when we filmed, and that was the scent I requested because it was by far my favorite. It was delicious. So check that scent out. And yeah, that was what it was like showering in my little briefs here, my little nude spandex briefs. That was my showering experience. I can now check showering in front of 10 people off my list. I can now check showering on global television off my list. Not that they were ever on my list previously, but they're off the list now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting in some way. Let me know what other stories you want to hear from either the commercial or my life in general, and I would be happy to make more. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.